welcome along to Cadwell Park for rounds 7 and 8 of the Ma5da MX5 Mark1 Championship. This stunning circuit is known as the Mini Nürburgring for its massive undulations and its twists through the trees. But whether it be soggy Snetterton, the super flat Silverstone or the very windy Anglesey, the result has still been the same. Tom Roach seems unstoppable, having won every race he's entered this year. Not only that, the 2011 champion is also responsible for helping the huge stable of Blandini Motorsport drivers. The drivers that came out on top in races 1 and 2 of the weekend here at Cadwell Park were Adam Gore and James Blake Baldwin. But that was yesterday and it was in the dry. So let's see how they get on today in the wet.
And neither of those drivers entered into this first race of the weekend, which sees Ed Gay on pole position alongside Tom Roach, Alan Henderson and Ben Short. Martin Tolley and Andy Coombs there in 6th position. And wet is an understatement. Just look at the conditions. The cameraman can hardly see the cars, and off we go. Not a great initial getaway from Tom Roach, but he seems to have got the power down. Ed Gay is on to his left and squeezing into the grass as we go on board with Ben Short, who is very close to the grass indeed. And will Tom go around the outside? Yes, he will. So Roach it is that leads. Ben Short's going to try and follow him through, past his teammate. And Ed Gay doesn't make that too much harder because that is his teammate and team owner as well. So make sure that you don't push him off. So Ben Short, second in the slipstream to Tom Roach, and this fantastic circuit is slightly dampened by real standing water. We've had a couple of races already this morning, but it hasn't moved any of the water, and therefore really difficult conditions for these drivers to deal with, especially Tom Roach, who is the lead of the pack, and he has to establish the braking point for everyone else that are following. The 88 car of Mark Litherland dropping down from a good qualifying position. I think he started in 8th position. Back on board with Ben as we go around this long right-hander, and now through the gooseneck. The car drops down the hill. It's a fantastic corner, and you can really see the gradient change. Now through Mansfield, the bottom of the hill, and they head towards the famous mountain turn. Oh, Mark Litherland has gone off at Mansfield. Oh, he's going to come back across the pack, but keeps it controlled. Drop way down the field though, the 88 car. There is Tom Roach over the hill. Bit of wheel spin as the car desperately scrabbles for grip, and through the hall bends. Left, then right, then left, then right. Very tricky part of the circuit, very narrow, under the trees. The water stays there for much longer than it should, and then it plummets back down the hill and over the start and finishing line. You can see how soft they've got these Ma5das set up, really bouncing over the start and finishing line. There's a few bumps there anyway, but Roach it is that leads. Then Ben Short, then it's Ed Gay, and Ed has got to fight the attentions of Alan Henderson behind, as well as Martin Tolley. This is the view from Ben Short, looking forwards, and that ball of spray is Tom Roach. He's got a little bit of work to do. He's very strong in the braking zone here on the last lap, although so was Ed Short. It was Tom Roach, I think, who was a little bit weak trying to find the grip on that very first turn. There is Alan Henderson. Henderson trying to find a way past the vastly inexperienced Ed Gay, and actually doing an amazing job considering he's so inexperienced. Fast in his group to take pole position, and now fighting for a podium. This is his first full year of motorsport, having done a few races last year. And now towards the mountain turn, left, and then right over the brow. Whoa, big slide from Ed Gay, and he's going to, well, that should in any normal circumstance give the car behind a decent opportunity to get past, but not Alan Henderson, because there's just no way to get past through these hall bends. You can see how the gradient changes all the way through, up and down, up and down. And finally through the last corner of the lap and over the start and finishing line. Ed getting away with that hideous mistake Further back, 30 car of Julian Taylor through Hall Bends, and he's looking to make a pass. A little queue of cars there. Darren Shepsman, who's ahead of him. And actually, we see some fantastic battling in the Mark 1 racing, but when it does rain, they tend to be a little bit more circumspect and slightly safer with their moves, and therefore the action a little less frenetic than you expect. Alan Henderson, though, has made a move past Ed Gay. Ed Gay gets good power, but can't find a way through at Chris's curve. That, again, dropping away before you then have to sort yourself out to go left at Gooseneck and back down the hill. Here it is. Nice to see Martin Tolley is still there, looking for a way past. And has this little battle has allowed the front two to really get away. Ben Short looking for a win, looking to reduce the gap to Tom Roach, who has had an unbeaten record this year so far. There's the mountain. Just look how much they have to climb. There is Roach. Now, can he take yet another victory? His first race of the weekend, so still plenty of time to do the double, as he's done so far at Silverstone, Snetterton and Anglesey. Ed Gay looking for a way past Alan Henderson, but as yet no way through. They've just gapped themselves a little bit by the looks of things to Tolley. You can see that the circuit drops away from you, turns right and then flicks left down the gooseneck to Mansfield. Tricky one, that, because it's so steep there. And the camera actually does a good job. Big slide from Ed Gay. Lovely stuff, well controlled. Not necessarily the best for overall speed, but certainly 10 for style on that one. Through the mountain. It's two steps, the left-hander, then you go up a bit more, and then over the right-hander. And now through the Hall Bends. And Ed just dipping his wheel over the curb there. And you can see that he was splashing the car behind Martin Tolley with water. There's so many puddles that have collected on the dropped apexes on these turns. Of course, fantastic if you're a biker, and this is one of the most favourite circuits for motorbikes, and the famous Cadwell races that happen in August. The whole circuit absolutely inundated with motorbikes, fans and races. The Supercar Grand Prix happens here as well, and plenty of club racing. None of the British Touring Cars or F3 stuff, but it does provide a fantastic challenge for the competitors. There's Scott Leach. Oh, Scott, where are you going? Just almost looked like he turned too late there going into the entrance of Charlie's and runs wide. And Scott was well inside the top 10, so a little mistake there. Ben Short through Hall Bends, trying to chase down Tom Roach. Oh, and here's Martin Tolley getting alongside Ed Gay, but there's really nowhere to pass. Ed's going to have to give up that position, which he does. Oh, but a big old slide from Martin Tolley as he just about saves it. Surely there's an opportunity to get past at the hairpin for Ed Gay. Yes, there he goes, dives down the inside. Tolley taking too much speed into that turn. And now a little bit of a gap, although it looked like Ed was just a fraction wide there. They're all trying to stay on the racing line, and sometimes that's not the best place to be when it's raining. Right, Scott Leach now behind Chris Lovett. This is for just the top 10, and Scott's made a mistake. Because who spun ahead of them? One of the BS Motorsport cars. It's the 72 car of Matthew Short. So putting Leach off his guard there, and Chris Lovett. It's funny how you see the same cars on the same piece of tarmac weekend in and weekend out. They always find themselves in the same place. Oh, blimey, Tom Roach so nearly dipping a wheel onto the grass there on a real ragged edge. Good control. Oh, and Leach now has got ahead. Lovett's got ahead of Leach. Where's that? That's Hall Bend. And James Leach having a bit of a moment there, getting it all crossed up, but managing to save it. Whoa, and that is Ed Gay going for a very bouncy ride on the exit of the gooseneck. He's not lost that much position, so that only Martin Tolley's got past him. Okay, he's lost a bit of a gap now to Alan Henderson, who's set about chasing Roach and Short ahead. Now Ben is getting held up by traffic quite badly there. That is Tom Q. And that's not going to help him at all chase down Tom Roach, who leads the race. Back to the battle then for what is fourth position. Tolley and Gay. Was that Tolley going all cross-tracking again? It might well be. What's going on here? Difficult to see. Big slide, big spin, and that's Julian Taylor on the exit of Charlie's, getting very wrong. Oh, and that is our leader. That was Tom Roach facing the wrong direction on the exit of Charlie's on the big long straight, and we are riding on board with our new leader, Ben Short. I wonder what on earth happened there. So that was coming on out of Charlie's on the Park straight. There is Tom Roach now making his way through Park. What on earth happened to him? Well, making a passing move, but not the passing move that he really needs. That's a back marker that he's sliding his way past. Another back marker for Ben Short to get through as he goes into Mansfield. And it looks as though Ben is on course for taking his second victory of the year. It's been 3 second places so far and a solitary win at the first race he did at Snetterton. Having a nice little fight with Rhys Jenkins in the standings at the moment. Tom Roach making another little error there by the looks of things through the mountain section of turns, and I think that he will finally ruin that completed record. Every single race so far that he's entered this year, he won, as Nat said at the start of this race, and a spin at Charlie's looks like it's put pay to that. Round the final corner he goes in second position. Ahead of him is Tom Roach. The last lap board is out, and I just don't think... Oh, that's a checkered flag. Checkered flag goes to Tom Roach. There is Ben Short, and I wonder if he's got the checkered flag. I doubt it. But either way, Ben Short's won. How very strange. So Short, Roach, Henderson on his own. Ed Gay did hold on to fourth position. Tolley and Coombs round out the top 6.
After a lot of confusion there, Ben, you're the winner of that race. Can you talk me through it, please? Yeah,
I believe I am. I saw Tom spun on the last lap, and if I'm going to be 100% honest, he was really quick. But we took some setup advice from Brian Chipmunk, Dangerous Brian, last night. So yeah, thank you very much to Brian and the team and Exo Consultants, because unfortunately Tom had an off and we were able to win. Absolutely brilliant.
Did you think you were going to catch Tom at all in that race?
To be honest, no. He had the legs on me the whole way round. Maybe there's a possibility he was going a little bit too fast, which brought him to his unfortunate demise. But brilliant race nevertheless.
Well, that was a very exciting and confusing last lap of the race, but it was Ben that came out the winner. Join us after the break for more action from the Mark 1s. Welcome back to Cadwell Park here in Lincolnshire for the Ma5da MX5 Championship from the Mark 1s. Next up, we've got Groups E versus F.
And in Group E, it was James Blake Baldwin who took victory on Saturday afternoon. The best of the F runners in the last race there was Alan Henderson ahead of Ed Gay and Martin Tolley. They had a great little battle. Let's see who can take advantage here at Cadwell Park for both of these guys' second races. Ed Gay side by side with Blake Baldwin, who gets a dreadful start. Alex Preston's trying to squeeze his way through between the three of them. Blake Baldwin looking back from sensible as he took race 1 victory. They're still 3 wide. Henderson is the third of the cars making it 3 wide. It's allowed Ed Gay to disappear out of the distance, and it was very, very brave going through the first turn like that, but they've all managed to survive. Through Charlie's, just missing the apex slightly. That's okay, it's raining. The grip will be outside the normal racing line anyway. And you can see the spray from James Blake Baldwin's car completely disguising the cars behind. Lying in 4th position off that dreadful start. Looks to try and pass Alex Preston, but there is no way through. So far, it looks like everyone's pretty safe further back. And now to the gooseneck over the brow of the hill. Again, Ed Gay. Very impressive performance leading this race ahead of Alan Henderson, Preston, then Blake Baldwin, and then it's Martin Tolley in the 23 car behind him. Daniel Rogers in one of the blue cars further back. And here they go towards the mountain section for the first time. Ed Gay still looking for his first win. In fact, hasn't yet had a podium this year. So he'll be looking desperately to stay in the position he's in at the moment, but Alan Henderson has got some real pace. Puts the wheel over the curb there, it sucks the car through the turn. Henderson looking to try and find a way through, but he's also going to be conscious that Alex Preston is a fast, hard charger. Preston, again, hasn't won yet this year, but took a 2nd position at Snetterton. And actually, the conditions were much like this at Snetterton. Very, very windy and wet indeed. Lots of standing water. The Kumo tyres having to work extremely hard. And we look back for Blake Baldwin through Coppice. That's the left-hander. Very, very off-camber entrance to Charlie's. It then sucks you in and then throws you back out again. It goes on for a very, very long time. And that is Anthony Liversedge parking up on the side of the circuit. The race has only lasted 2.5 minutes, that's a shame. We've got a good battle on for the lead of the race though. Look at this, 4 cars absolutely nailed together. Then just the tiniest of gaps to Martin Tolley in 5th position. Ooh, big impact with the tyre wall. Surely you can't continue when going like that. It's Jonathan Bailey. I think he may want to try and get that BS Motorsport car going again. But it's a BS Motorsport car that's out front. And Ben Short, hopefully, watching on the sidelines as his man gets attacked by Alan Henderson. He's found the littlest of gap at the entrance to the mountain section. He gets through on the inside, but he's got to keep the car stable over the brow of the hill. He's done that, but poor old Ed Gay has been really put offline. Preston's got past. Now Blake Baldwin goes past as well. And from 1st to 4th in just 2 corners for Ed Gay, and that proves just how hilly this circuit is, because he was compromised at the bottom of the hill, therefore his speed up the hill was not as good as the other guys around him, and he fell back. Yellow flags flying over the start and finishing line. I think that is for Liversedge's car, which is there. Further back, 30 car of Julian Taylor getting yet more coverage. Fighting there with Christian Dan, just outside the top 10. So now the man to be attacked is Alan Henderson, and Preston giving him just a little nudges as they go through Park. Not enough of a nudge to find a way through. Park continues and keeps going right into Chris Curve, and then drops away the left-hander at Gooseneck before falling down the cliff. Here is that cliff. Henderson, Preston, Blake Baldwin. Preston yet to win a race this season. Henderson, a seasoned pro at this, took a victory at Snetterton, his only victory of the year so far. Blake Baldwin has had more success, but also more failure. Took his first race win of the weekend here at Cadwell on Saturday evening, and also the first race of the season. He took victory at Silverstone, but also DNF'd at Snetterton. So if you look at the championship standings, it's a bit further down. Remember, you can drop scores though in this championship, and therefore that 0 that Blake Baldwin had for a non-finish at Snetterton will get nullified. It'll move him far higher in the championship. And while no one has got the amount of points that Tom Roach has got yet, there is still a chance. 100 points for the win, 98 for second and 96 for third. Side by side further back, Ed Gay and Brett Smith. Ed Gay on the inside though to Coppice. Can he get his way through? No, Brett Smith goes all the way around the outside. Great move. Further back, Taylor and Dan still fight. Oh, and a big slide and spin from Wally Leach. Big old moment there. Just outside the top 10 was Wally, and now he's going to plummet down the field. 50 car there is Darren Standing. This is a battle for just the inside of the top 10 with Ed Gay just ahead. That side-by-side move has really punished him. Well, that's not Ed Gay, is it? That is the 72 car of Matthew Short. And then he's ahead of Jack Sycamore and Darren Standing. So a lot of work still to do between those drivers. In fact, Darren slides up the inside of Jack, going into Coppice. Further ahead, challenge for the lead of the race. Here comes Alex Preston down the inside and takes the position. Henderson down to second. Blake Baldwin staying in third position at the moment. It was a clean move. It hasn't compromised either of their speed too much, but they do now seem to have just the littlest of gaps. Big gap to third position. Ed Gay has fallen off a cliff and disappeared. No sign of Brett Smith either. Those two were fighting as we saw earlier on. But Preston does look like in the latter stages of this race he has the pace to win it. As I said earlier, previously a podium scorer on 3 occasions, but never the top step, never the fastest lap. And here comes Blake Baldwin down the inside of Henderson. No way that Henderson can fight that. Not through Hall Bends, and he makes that pass stick. These just keep on roller coastering, left, right, up, down. Blake Baldwin up to second spot then. Setting his sights on the yellow car ahead. Must be last lap coming up now, I would have thought. Can he find a way past? Ooh, Kevin Brent, what are you doing over there? One of those spins that just goes on forever and ever and ever. As soon as you get in the grass, there's just no traction. It's a good old charge for the moment from Darren Standing, who slides up the inside of a very small gap that Simon Deaton was offering him. And it's enough to find the blue car, at least side by side. Finishing line team making, as always, their cars look absolutely spectacular. But here comes Alex Preston over the start and finishing line to pick up another lap. Ooh, blimey. John Powell off at the exit of Mountain under acceleration. Not a place you want to go off there because the runoff really does fall down. Good drive from Darren Standing. Really nice job here, cutting his way through the pack. He's actually lost the position again to Simon Deaton, so he's going to have to find another way through. Oh, and that looked like a mistake. Yes, it was from Jack Sycamore. At the hairpin there, couldn't get the car stopped, and so slid to the outside. Here are the leaders. In fact, it doesn't look like Blake Baldwin has an answer for Alexander Preston. Preston is going to win this. Oh dear, and that looks like an engine gone for that James Leach. I think it may well have been. That's a big shame. Here comes Preston though, down through Mansfield. Looks for the exit, lovely exit of that turn, staying on the racing line as they wiggle their way down towards the mountain. Missing out the chicane that's used in the British Superbikes. And Preston is on his way to collect the checker flag for the first time in 2012. He's just got the Hall Bends, the hairpin, and then Barn, the final turn to negotiate. Sliding all over the place. So little grip, these tyres, the same tyres they use in racing conditions, but in the dry conditions what they'll do is they'll try and use them down to a slick tyre rather than the full tread you want for the wets. Blake Baldwin doesn't have an answer. Here comes Alexander Preston over the start and finishing line to take the checker flag. The checker flag man is extremely late with the black and white today, but Preston does take the victory ahead of Blake Baldwin and Alan Henderson. Brett Smith picked up 4th, Ed Gay faded to 5th, and Martin Tolley round out the top 6.
Alex, your second ever season racing and your first win. A great race for you.
Oh, I loved every second of it. I was a bit nervous at start because I thought third place I was on the inside, bit nervy going into the first few corners, but I managed to hang on to the top 2 and then just made my move when I thought I could and then just drove to the home.
What a fantastic race there for Alex, but don't go away. Join us after the breaks for Group C and D for the Mark 1s. Welcome back to a very wet weekend here at Cadwell Park. Next up, we've got Group C and D from the Mark 1, so I'm going to hand you straight over to your overly enthusiastic commentator of the day, Ben Constanduris.
And I'm overly enthusiastic because I'm dry. Here is the grid for the next one. Matthew Lambert and Brian Chandler on the front row of the grid, with Rhys Jenkins there in 3rd and Charlie Sharman lining up in 4th position. And it looked like a good start from Matthew Lambert. Pretty equal getaway. At least he might get the jump on Brian Chandler. There is an overlap, though, as we go on board with Carl Powell. And we sit behind the front 4 cars as they head towards Coppins for the first time. This left-hander. Big slide from Chandler. That's dropped into 3rd position. Rhys Jenkins has managed to slide his way through. Powell has got attention from behind as well. We go back on board with him. Down onto the park straight, and it looked like Brian Chandler just dipped a wheel over the curb and onto the dirt. And yes, he certainly compromised his speed because Carl Powell drafts up behind him as they come into the braking zone here at Park. Matthew Lambert going defensive on Rhys Jenkins, then it's Chandler, there is Carl Powell, the yellow machine, lying in 4th position. And oh, Matthew Lambert's run too wide. I saw he was just offline, but it's allowed Rhys Jenkins up the inside. Battle for 4th continues as they go into the gooseneck. The back end desperately trying to step out. Oh, and a big slide from Brian Chandler as well. Chandler heads down the hill, so it won't be too bad in terms of a compromise. He's got Powell all over the back of him, and yet another of those Belindi cars. And actually, that may well be Richie Puddle, who should maybe appear. Yes, there he is, left of screen, going up the inside. Don't see that how that's going to work out, but we've got chaos further back. Oh, Chris Noah Hart facing the wrong direction. There was another one brushing the wall further ahead. And finally, Richie makes that pass stick. Good move. Both take a lot of dirt. Carl Powell's got splattered by it. He didn't make any progress up at all there, but has almost lost 2 positions again. Brian Chandler too hot into the turn. Now here's a chance to attack. Carl Powell looks down the inside of Barn, but it's a very, very tight place to overtake. Not quite confident enough to really jam it down the inside there. And he sits behind and waits for another place to pass. Matthew Lambert back ahead of Rhys Jenkins. A good battle going on at the front of the field. We are concentrating on the battle for 3rd position. Riding on board with a man who's in 5th going through Coppice. Rhys Jenkins, I think, has the measure of Matthew Lambert here. Over the brow of the hill, it goes up again before the 2nd part of Charlie's, which we ride through now with Carl Powell. And he's just dropped a little bit. Now, what's he doing there? See, he was fiddling around with his wrists over there. Either way, to the front of the field we go again. Matthew Lambert looking good. No wins this year from Lambert. 2 3rd positions though, and Rhys Jenkins does the same thing again. Down the inside, holds a tighter line through Chris's and takes the lead of the race back. Now, no one in this race has won so far this weekend. So we are going to have a new Cadwell winner, but who will it be? Look at that, Richie Puddle has really towed himself up to that leading group. Brian Chandler does another big slide as he goes into the mountain. That's going to kill him as he goes over the hill. Another big slide over the grass he goes. Surely Powell can pounce. Surely down the inside. Yes, there's no way that Brian can possibly try and defend that. He slides up the inside through Hall Bends, and Powell is now into 4th. But Richie Puddle's gone. He's away. He needs to... Carl's got some serious work now to try and chase him down. Further back. 169 of David Hart with Chris Noah Hart, no relation. Fighting at the back of the field there. Now Puddle attacks Matthew Lambert. side by side on the exit of Mansfield, going towards the mountain, and Rich doesn't quite have the speed through there, but dives up the inside under braking into the first part of mountain. Is that going to compromise him on the exit though? Over the brow of the hill, and no, he's got a good drive through there. Puddle is on charge. I don't wish to make any silly jokes about the fact that there's lots of puddles out there on the circuit. Rich is the only one that's driving a car. Will Blackwell Chambers we ride on board with, desperately trying to find a way past in the middle of the pack, racing just outside the top 10. And there is the 65 of Amy Barker, female racer. We learnt all about her at the first meeting of the year, as we did with most of the female racers. Just ahead, or is Chambers just behind that group? I think Chambers is at the back of that group, isn't he? So this is the fight for the outside of the top 10, the outskirts of the top 10. Some good work on the wheel by Blackwell Chambers as he goes through Charlie's. And here's the gaggle of cars that he's towing up behind. He's got his boot open. What's Sam Gendy doing? Oh well, whatever he's done, he's opened the door for a lot of people. Through Mansfield towards the mountain section, and Chambers starting to cut his way through. Runs a little bit wide. You can hear the car scrabbling for grip as they go over the brow of the hill there. Barker. And that's Brian Chandler, who's just obviously done something with his tyre pressures that's not helping him at all. A real contender at Anglesey, racing with the best, but really struggling to have any result at all here. Started at the front of the field, is fading towards the rear end of the top 10 now. The number 7 is Kevin Middleton, and that's Joshua Jackson just behind him. Again, a disappointing weekend for Middleton, who would expect to be a little bit further up. But all the cars starting to sort of group off, and that's always a characteristic of fantastic Mazda racing when you've got big groups. That's the 45 car of Gary Halford, who's got his boot open. Someone's obviously clouted him. And off into the barriers is David Hart. Here, I'm not sure you want to be driving that. One of the Boston cars running wide as well. So plenty of chaos going on, plenty of close racing going on, all the way through the pack. Gendy's trying to cut his way back up through the field after his little indiscretion earlier on. Someone enters stage left very sideways, James Rogers. Oh, and Rogers is going to really be punished for that, because he was well ahead of this group, and there was a very close group of cars. 21, David Nadell. Towards the start and finishing line. Chasing Amy, that's not Amy, is it? Oh God, there's all sorts of going on. There's so many different cars, so difficult to work out exactly what's going on. So much scrabbling. Halford ahead of Gendy, ahead of Joshua Jackson, and then Paul Yeomans behind. And that is for that 12th position. Noel Powell gets a big old shove, and onto the grass he goes. Oh, and there's no way of stopping that car. Luckily, there's a big old runoff area. Didn't see exactly who it was that held him off the circuit. Has he lost a lot of speed? Has he lost a lot of positions? Difficult to know. Nadell holding off Eduardo Rodriguez, who's found a gap. Wow, how did he find that gap? This is a battle for fourth position, sorry. Bit of damage on the front end of that car, but Rodriguez has moved himself up into fourth. Further back, once again, 3 wide. Gendy going round the outside. He's going to run out of room. Yes, he is. He's followed by Jamie Rogers. Contact. Oh no, and that's made a real mess of Gendy's car. Rogers, who's already been off sideways. Let's see that again from another view. Gendy runs wide, bounces back into the path of another car and into a third car. That front end has taken a real bashing on Gendy's car throughout this year. I think number 9, James Rogers, will get away with that, but Gendy certainly will not. A lot of work to do for the team when he brings that car back. Right, this is the battle for the lead of the race. Richie Puddle chasing down Rhys Jenkins. Such good pace in that Melindy car. The Ma5da scholarship that anyone can enter. Towards this checkered flag, there's not enough laps for Richie, but it's been a mega drive. Rhys Jenkins takes victory, his second of the year, ahead of Richie Puddle, who has to be the star of that race. A much better weekend from Puddle than he's had so far in the season. Lambert rounds out the top 3.
Rhys, some very exciting and close racing there between you and Rich.
Yeah, it started off getting a bit of a gap at the beginning of the race, and he slowly caught me up. He got past, but ran wide coming over the top of the mountain. Luckily, that's just before the last lap. It's just managed to keep him behind then.
That is just what we like to see, some good and proper racing. Join us after the break for more action here at Cadwell Park. Welcome back to Cadwell Park here in Lincolnshire for the final race from the Mark 1s for the Ma5da MX5 Championship. I'm going to hand you straight over to your commentator of the day, Ben Constanduros.
And this one is arguably the most competitive, with Tom Roach in second position, Adam Gore and Ben Short having won a race apiece in the weekend so far. Adam's had to wait a long time, having won his on Saturday evening, to race in this final one of the weekend. Adam on the left, Tom Roach on the right. Let's see who gets the best start. The rear end's dipped down, looking for traction. It's a little bit drier than it was at the start of the day, and it's side by side. Doesn't look like Adam Gore's got a particularly good start, and I think Ben Short, as we go on board with him, yes, he slides past Gore as they go through Coppets for the first time and up towards Charlie's. Gore slots in to third position, and then that looks like Simon Goddard in fourth. Everyone safely through the first left-hander, and then right we go on board with Ben Short, carrying again that onboard camera on the front bumper, staring at the back of Tom Roach. Roach, remember, spinning at Charlie's the penultimate lap before the end, and a good slipstream from Ben Short. Here he goes, looks to the inside, there's no space. Tom is early on the brakes as well, just to put Ben Short a little bit off, and so Adam Gore will crawl up to the back of him. 23 car there, way back in the field by the looks of things. Oh, and a bit of a mistake and switch from the 78 machine of Kevin Dengate. For the first three, such a strong first lap, they're already away. It's Simon Goddard behind, a bit of rubbing and racing going on further back. The 88 car, Mark Litherland's been in all sorts of strife so far during the weekend, and Scott Leach was the man trying to attack him, compromised his exit of Manfield, and now he's being attacked from behind. And in fact, the pass has been made. Difficult to see exactly who that was. I've got a feeling it was the 55 car, but not entirely sure. Through a drying hall. Ben Short throwing his car around. Adam Gore having a quick think about overtaking him at the hairpin, but can't find a way through. Now we go towards Barn. Ben taking the outside line, missing the apex of the turn because there's more grip out there, especially as it starts to dry. It's now pretty greasy. The first three are away. Then Simon Goddard a little bit on his own at the moment in fourth position. Good slipstream, Mark Litherland fighting. Ben Short taking a very direct route through Charlie's, climb uphill, drops back down again. We go back on board with him, and then a slight rise before the circuit opens up to you on the park straight. Once again, Ben Short very much in the slipstream. You'll feel the car being dragged towards the rear end of Roach's, but Roach covers the inside once again, and there's no way to pass. You can see it's pretty narrow, this circuit, very much a motorbiker's circuit. Mini Nürburgring it's called. Now told us at the start of the show. Now Ben Short just thinks about diving up the inside, but once again there was just no room. A long right-hander at Charlie's. Lots of these long right-handers, but they're not that simple. It's not like at Snetterton. The circuit's going up and down, the cameras are changing. Really, really exciting to drive. Adam Gore is there, ready to pounce. Hasn't raced either of these two so far on the weekend. Both Roach and Short in their own group. Gore was the standout winner of the Saturday race. Oh, and Tom just running a little bit wide and spitting mud into our onboard camera. That's £5 of cleaning. Now through the Hall Pens. They're just fantastic to look at. Big slide from Adam Gore. Manages to gather it up. Adam Gore, a double winner at Anglesey. Oh dear, the 77 car is heading towards the wall. Just about stays out, John Cockburn-Evans. In fact, there was one of those safer barriers there to ease the blow. Good battle spurred back. That is our friend David Evans in the 20 car, carrying his Enigma sponsorship for another weekend. Nick Gillifan just behind him. Side by side for the lead of the race. And Tom Roach continues to defend, but continues to hold on. It's allowing Adam Gore to be there as well. Remember, there are drop scores in this championship, and so if you have a bad score, like Tom Roach did in race 1, you can drop it. If he doesn't get the fastest lap of the race, then that also means that you can drop it, because 1 point for fastest lap, best improver gets 4 points. When you start so high up, it's impossible to pick up those points. So really, 101 is what you're aiming for. Much more speed carried through the mountain section of turns by Ben Short, but Tom Roach just seems to have the edge on the exit. This is a battle between Simon Baldwin and Chris Lovett, with David Evans just behind. The fringes of the top 10. And then we have Nick Gillifan and Carly Latcham as well in that little group. Further ahead of them, Simon Goddard leading Andy Coombs, and Scott Leach is in there as well. And that, I think, is for, will that be the third position? I suppose it must be for third position. Fourth position. But a good run from Ben Short out of Mansfield. Now he's stronger through the mountain section. He's seen this before, but he needs to find a way past. Looks to the outside for the first part. A little bit of a nudge in the middle. Now he takes the curb, but that felt like a slide to me. It was, and just look how much time he loses. As soon as the car goes sideways, Tom Roach is away. Right, to the back. Carly Latcham diving up the inside. Chris Lovett down one. Latcham up one. This is the battle for fourth position, of course. Remember, Leach had a fantastic run in his second race at Anglesey. And looking to at least get on the fringes of the podium. At the moment, with these three so far in front, it's going to look difficult, I would have said. It's a strong race to be part of, this A and B, with Roach, Short and Adam Gore all fighting it out. Scott Leach getting a big old slide on. He flicks through the Hall Bends, trying to find a way past Andy Coombs. And we saw Andy at the start of the season at Silverstone. Not particularly stunning results there, but having a much better run of things here at Cadwell Park. Only his second meeting of the year. A lot of the Mazda races doing that for various reasons, and the drop scores really helping that. Battle for the lead. Again, Tom Roach goes defensive. Forces Ben Short to the outside. There's no room there. Maybe, just maybe, he can get the switch back. It is a long, long, long corner, so just needs to find an inside line, a bit of a nose. But that's not going to help you really until you get down to Mansfield. It was where Ben Short was so strong last time. Let's see if he can do it again. Lets the car run a little bit wider. Tom Roach to the inside. The overlap is there, but again, Ben Short's on the wrong side. Now he tries to switch back. Tries to get on the power earlier. I think he's got it this time. They are side by side, and it's going to work for Ben Short. Surely, as they head towards the mountain section, we know he's stronger on the brakes there. got the inside line too. He's on the wet stuff though, and Tom desperately tries to turn in. They stay side by side. Now Tom has the advantage and he stays ahead, but runs wide, surely. Now they're side by side towards the whole bends, and Ben Short so close on the grass. They're rubbing wheels. Great fight. He takes a bit of curb. They both take a bit of curb, a bit of rubbing racing as well. Side by side for both of the parts of the Hull Bend, the first two parts anyway. And that was extremely strong racing. Two guys that know each other very well. Side by side through the mountain, you can't do that. Side by side through Hull Bend, you can't do that, but these two just did. Now, Ben Short leads Tom Roach. Can he make the difference? I suggest that he is slightly faster. Oh, but runs a little bit wide. The back end felt like it was stepping out there on the onboard. Ben Short surely is the faster of the drivers. Oh, we've got one of the back markers pulling off, parking up. Yuri Horolak for the day, 29. Side by side again for the lead. Gore is still there, and Roach has just breezed past along the straight. Oh, where's Gore going? Oh, it's a ball! Wow, big impact. Just a small error from Adam Gore, and he's buried it in the tyres, and that was a big hit as well. Moving around in the car, looks okay. Oh, and a big slide from Tom Roach as well as they go to the mountain. Oh, so after winning race 1, Gore is going to score 0 points in race 2. Massive disappointment, but it is going to promote one of the following battle in the 3rd position. I wonder who that will be. It was Simon Goddard at last look, but he had a lot of attention from Andy Coombs as well. Still locked together for this lead of the race. And that was the final corner, because there is the checkered flag, and Tom Roach is going to take a victory here at Cadwell Park. Spun in race 1, but does get the 100 points for his race 2 victory over Ben Short. Matt Robinson it was who took 3rd position in the end. Simon Goddard, Andy Coombs and Richard Lambert round out the top 6 positions.
Tom, amazingly close racing between you and Ben, and you managed to keep on the track this time.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was an awesome race with Ben. He was driving really well. He was faster than me, to be honest, so I just did everything I could to keep him behind me. Really good, clean racing, and just lucky to get back in the lead at the end.
Great. Going to be celebrating tonight?
Oh, I think so. And a big thank you to everyone who helped. I mean, my car was great, so thanks to Blendini Motorsport and Blink Motorsport for my engine, and all the sponsors who helped me.
So here are the points, including the dropped rounds, and Tom Roach 5:04, just 5 ahead of Adam Gore, then James Blake Baldwin, Ben Short and Rhys Jenkins.
Well, that's it from the Mark 1s here at Cadwell Park in Lincolnshire. We've had some fantastic racing today, but join us next week when we see the Mark 3s in action.